Hello everyone, welcome to web design tutorial. In this tutorial you will learn, understand and practice web design concepts from scratch. You will learn basic and advanced HTML concepts and CSS concepts, and at the end of this tutorial you will have a website like this. You will have this website will have all the basic features with multi-column layout, images, and then tables, form, videos, and then animation, this kind of basic animation. So you will learn and apply all those concepts practically through this demo project. So I will explain what you're going to learn in each chapter briefly. So in chapter 1, you will learn basics of web design. So where you will understand the history and evolution of internet and basic concepts of network, internet protocol. What are the internet protocols and how they work together to form internet? And then how internet works actually with that protocols, and then what is markup languages. In chapter 2, you will learn basics of HTML, where you will understand how to define and use basic HTML tags like header tag, paragraph tag, like those basic HTML tags. What is phrase element, special entity character, how to create list, what are structural elements, how to create links in the web page. And at the end of this chapter, you'll be able to create a simple web page like this. So you will be able to create a basic structure of web page with all the navigation links, all those stuff, with this listing, with this navigation, with basic structure. So this will be the output for chapter 1. So this will be the output for chapter 2. So let's see what you learn in chapter 3. So in chapter 3, you will understand all the theoretical aspects like how to design, what are the website basic thumb rules for website organization, design principles for text, this web writing, color, design principles for color, design principle for navigation, page layout. So all those theoretical aspects will be covered in chapter 3. In chapter 4, you will get introduced to CSS concept, basic CSS concept. So you'll understand what is CSS, what are the different types of CSS that you can use to integrate the styling in your web page, and then what are the syntax rules, what is selectors, what are different types of selectors are available, and what is the priority order of precedence with different CSS. So at the end of this chapter, you'll be able to apply those basic stylings with background color and font color. So you will be able to apply that basic CSS styling in your food and fitness website like this. So in chapter 5, we'll cover the basic concepts of graphics and text styling. Particularly, we'll focus more on images. What are the different types of images and how to link images into the web page, either as background image or integrating images through HTML or through CSS. And then what are the different types of CSS stylings available to bring in the designs to the font, and how to include images as list markers, favicon, image maps. So what are the different options available to include image in HTML? So all these concepts will be covered in chapter 5. So at the end of this chapter 5, you will be able to integrate this basic image concepts, like you'll be able to integrate the image as a as a flyer here and with this logo. Okay, so and also you'll be able to do some styling with your font. So this will be the output for chapter 5. So in chapter 6 you will practice some advanced CSS concepts, like you will understand how to use max width and minimum width property to avoid content jumping and content stretching problem, and you will understand the basic box model structure. All the web pages has some basic structure like padding, border, margin. So we will understand that box model, and you will practice how to bring in the rounded corners, border corners, page centering, how to bring in shadow effect on both web elements and also text, and then how to do background resizing, like background image resizing, and then you will understand more CSS, advanced CSS concepts, including color changing. All those stuff you will understand in chapter 6 at the end of this chapter. So you will get this kind of website with centering, with page centering, and then you will use that image. You will understand how to bring that image as a background image instead of HTML, how to use CSS to display the image, and shadow effect, and then rounded corners. All these things you will practice in chapter 6. So in chapter 7 we will cover page layout basics, how to bring multiple column layout by using floating. So what is floating, how to do floating, how to control overflow property, box sizing property, how to bring vertical navigation from horizontal, how to bring that horizontal navigation as a vertical navigation, and what is pseudo class, and by using pseudo class how we can bring in the dynamic functionality in the navigation bar, and what is CSS position property and how we can use it to change the display of web elements. And then you will understand what is CSS sprite and how we can use it to handle different images. So at the end of this chapter, so you'll be able to design a website like this with multiple column layout. You can see you can bring in the multiple column layout like this. Since we are focusing on page layout, so we will apply some of those concepts in changing the layout. So you can see we have modified the horizontal navigation to vertical navigation here, and also we have done some floating here with multiple column layout. So in chapter 8 we will cover how to make the website mobile friendly, device friendly, how to bring in the responsiveness in the website so that regardless of what device the website is getting displayed, it should display the content clearly. So that will be covered in chapter 8. So in this chapter you will understand and practice flex layout in detail. So you'll understand grid layout concepts, and you'll practice the properties associated with grid layout, linking pages. Okay, so linking pages with different folders, and then viewport and media queries, and how to make images as flexible. Okay, so and then finally how to test the responsiveness. So all these things will be covered at the end of this chapter. You'll be able to design like website something like this. So you can see your website will become responsive. So this is PC display mode, and this is tablet display mode, and this is mobile display mode. So you'll be able to design a responsive website by including the concepts that you learned in chapter 8. So in chapter 9 you will learn the basics of tables and form. So how to create a table, basic table, and what are the design aspects that is associated with the table. So you will understand that, and then after that you will practice how to include a form online form, how to create a form that will get the input from the user. So how to create a basic form and what are the elements associated in HTML to get the input from the user. So at the end of this chapter, you'll be able to include some table like this, okay, with the CSS, with all the concepts that you learned in chapter 9. You'll be able to create a table like this in your web page. And also you'll be able to include a form in your web page like this. And also this form is responsive. You can see, you can create a form and you can make this form responsive according to different display devices. So that is the output for chapter 9. So in chapter 10, you will learn how to integrate audios and videos and how to do animation, basic animation in your web page. So you will understand what is helper application and plugin and how to add audio video files in your web page, how to integrate external videos like YouTube videos through iframe, and then you will practice transform property, transition property and animation property and how to use this property to bring some dynamic functionality in your web page. And finally you will understand some other basic concepts like how to bring drop down menu navigation and how to use summary and description kind of display. So at the end of this chapter, it will create a new page in the food and fitness website by integrating a YouTube video and by performing some basic animation like this. By using the concepts you learned in this chapter like transform, transition. So using that you can bring some basic animation like this, and also you can see we'll do some basic transition here. So that will be the output for chapter 10. So at the end of this all 60 video tutorials, you'll be able to understand and practice the basics of basic and advanced concepts of HTML and CSS. Thank you.